Hey guys, it's Prince Rich with Rich Technology Group, and today's video is titled, Is Grasshopper Voice over IP being discontinued? Again, that is Grasshopper VOIP being discontinued? Now, this video may raise some controversy, so I've got some notes here, and so if you see me looking down, it's because I'm going to try to stick to these the best I can, because obviously this title for most would be pretty alarming when they see this, especially if you're entertaining Grasshopper as a new particular voice over IP service for your business, or if you are an existing Grasshopper client. So I'm going to briefly share what I know about this situation, which is a bit vague, but then also some of my thoughts on what I think the future outcome in regards to this potential discontinuation of the popular Grasshopper voice over IP service may look like for new customers and for existing customers. So let's jump right in. So it's probably been about 3 months now, but I heard some rumors. I'm not going to mention where I heard them from, but for those of you who frequent the channel, you know that I've got some friends in some very high places with just about all of the voice over IP and even internet and cellular carriers across the United States. I heard through some pretty reliable sources that Grasshopper possibly will not be offering new service to any more new customers before the end of 2020. I was specifically told that as of the time that I heard this news about 3 months ago, that I could still sign up new accounts, but I was more or less unofficially told by the powers that be that nobody would be able to sell Grasshopper to new customers at some point before the end of 2020. So let's get into this really quickly here. So my opinion on the service. So that is a whole nother subject for another day. For those of you who may be interested in hearing my honest opinions on Grasshopper's service, I did another video that was specifically called 5 Reasons Why We Do Not Recommend Grasshopper to Small or Growing Businesses, specifically growing businesses. Again, this video is not the time or place for that, so I'll tag that video up top if you're interested in seeing my take on that. But in short, I believe that Grasshopper has a place in the market. You know, it's great for micro businesses and it's great for some businesses that are in a certain scenario, but I don't really care much for it for your average business. So for anybody who's watching, let's talk specifically about new potential customers and about existing customers. So here's kind of my take on this. We're going to start with new customers. As I already mentioned before, I did a different video on this, but I truly believe that there are other options that are better. Again, I'm not going to get into all of the reasons why, but I've heard everything from sometimes the customer service is not that great to sometimes it's almost impossible to cancel the service. These aren't things that I'm just making up. These are things that I've heard from actual Grasshopper customers by the dozens and dozens and dozens. So, you know, for somebody to understand and see some of the things that I've seen, which I explained in the other video, you know, you really need to think to yourself, do you really think that this service is going to work for you? If you're not planning on being in business for a very long time, or if you're not planning on growing, you know, Grasshopper might be a great option for you for as long as they're able to sell it. So that's something to consider. If you're thinking about growing, I don't know that it's really the best option. My bigger concern and what I wanted to address in this video is for existing customers. You know, it's no secret for those of you who have had Grasshopper or for those of you who have heard rumors about it that the customer service is not that great. So when you really sit and think about it, if they're going to stop selling service, this means effectively they are going to cut off their future income streams. This means that they're effectively not going to make any more money from new business for the service. It also means that chances are they are not going to make any extra money for things like, which especially is very important in today's market with everything that's going on in the world today and businesses needing to be more mobile and needing more innovative features like video conferencing and things like that. I don't see them really being at the pinnacle or at the forefront of being an innovative platform, of reinvesting money back into research and development if it is true that they're going to discontinue service or that they're not going to be bringing on new customers. One of the other points that I really want to make that is probably my biggest concern is their customer service from the things that I have heard from existing and from customers that have contacted me to switch or cancel from Grasshopper to go to something else. Their customer service I've always heard is subpar or almost non-existent at best. And, from what I know from seeing other players in the industry as time has progressed over the decades, come and go, typically when a company is on the verge of, possible extinction, or they're just not offering their services to new customers anymore, the last thing that they're going to be thinking about is how can we, put more effort and energy into our customer service, or how can we put more dollars and put more innovation into our research and development into our platform. So anyways, that's kind of, my honest thoughts on this. One of the things that I want to say is alternatives to Grasshopper. If what I think I have heard is true, that they're going to stop selling the service to new customers before the end of 2020, and then the question is, how long until they cancel almost immediately or cancel at a later date their, existing client base that is using and relying on their service. As far as alternatives is concerned, for those of you who may not know, Grasshopper is actually owned. Grasshopper's parent company is actually GoToMeeting. Those of you who are watching may have heard of GoToMeeting. It's similar to like a Zoom video or something like that. It's like a meeting thing or whatever, like Amazon Chime or Zoom video or whatever it may be. Their parent company is actually GoToMeeting. GoToMeeting also owns the popular and actually pretty decent voice over IP communications platform called Jive Communications. So for those of you who have been thinking about Grasshopper, Jive is not a bad alternative. For those of you who are using Grasshopper and you're thinking, well, maybe I should switch to something else, look at alternatives before the what hits the fan. Again, Jive Communications, which we represent, is not a bad option. Now, I will go as far as saying many people that I talk to that see Grasshopper and that are interested in Grasshopper, there's typically about just one reason why they're interested in Grasshopper: the price. I don't know of many platforms out there that you're going to find that are going to be as cheap, as bottom of the barrel cheap as Grasshopper. Jive Communications is a great platform that is owned by the same company that owns Grasshopper, but it's definitely more expensive. You are going to pay a little bit more to use Jive Communications, but hey, you get what you pay for. It is a bit better platform. As far as other alternatives, you guys know me. I represent all of the other carriers. So, I would recommend that you look at another video that we did called the top 3 voice over IP service providers of 2020. That's where I covered 3 other very popular platforms. The 3 most popular that we work with as of this year so far. That changes up every year, and we base that poll based on how, what people are going after, or what people are landing on or signing the dotted line on the most throughout each year. But there's a whole bunch of different providers out there. One of the most powerful features that Grasshopper offers is their mobile app and the ability to basically be mobile and run your voice over IP system or run your company's virtual phone system from your cell phones. But now with everything that's going on in current news, which I'm not going to mention in this video, you guys know what that is. That has forced everybody to have to work from home and have the ability to, maintain the appearance of being a well-oiled team, but be dispersed instead of all together because of social distancing and, things that we won't mention in this video. There are plenty other platforms out there that can do that which Grasshopper can do, but actually do it better. So, if you're watching this video and you're thinking, I want to look at an alternative to Grasshopper, maybe because you already have it and you don't know what's to come, or because you were thinking about it and now you saw this video and realize it may not be a good idea, give me a call. Again, this is not to say that Grasshopper is going to completely cancel services completely, but we did hear more or less a hard confirmation that at some point this year, before the end of 2020, they will not be selling it anymore. What will happen with existing customers by the end of this year or in the upcoming years, I do not know. If you're interested in alternatives or you want to talk to me about it more, give me a shout. Again, Prince Rich with Rich Technology Group, your go-to guy for the best deals on business phone and internet service in the United States. I'll talk to you guys again in the next video.